How would it feel to have a thriving fitness business and have the freedom to enjoy life at the fullest? Well, that is exactly what the Trainer Revenue Multiplier show is going to give you. My name is Mathew Park. This is Jaime Filer.
Hey guys.
And we are here to serve.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Trainer Revenue Multiplier podcast. As always, I am your host, Jaime Filer, and I am joined by my favorite co-host, Mr. Mathew Park. How are things going, sir?
Honored to be on the show with you, Jaime.
Oh, you're so sweet. I have to tell you, it's bothering me that my mentor is just slightly off. This is going to throw me off the entire pod. If you're not watching this on our Facebook Live, my OCD is getting the best of me, but I can focus, I promise.
I never even noticed. I was like, wait, is it? It is.
Yeah, now you're going to notice because it's off. It's not. That's great. It's fine. It's fine now. Matthew, if I was a deep fake, my office would be perfect. All lines would be straight. If I was AI, but now you know I'm a real human, a real trainer with flaws and everything.
The question was if, you said. Which you aren't. You know, we know Filer is fantastic. And, you know, what better AI than to talk about you having lead that conversation because you've really done phenomenally well on how to leverage AI. So looking forward to learning and having fun with you on this podcast today.
Amazing. Amazing. So, I mean, the perfect place to start is why are we even discussing AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, for those of you who don't know, on the Trainer Revenue Multiplier podcast today?
Because I deep faked my background.
That's why.
I didn't tell it to you. I just want to make sure. Yeah,
that's
deep fake everybody, you know. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
We aren't real. Jaime isn't real. I'm not real on this podcast today. Yeah.
Again, they know that I'm real because my mentor plaque is sideways. Anyway. But for real, Mathew, why is this even something that is coming up today?
Yeah. So great question, Jaime. And I think it goes into a lot of the coaches that we bring into our program, TRM, are expert coaches. They've been coaching for over 10 plus years, 15 years, and they've been around the game. And, it's a common fear for a lot of coaches to say, wait, AI is just coming out of nowhere, doing all this stuff. Will I be replaced? Will I be needed? How do I use it? Where is it going to be in 2 years from now? Will I even have a job anymore? Like all this stuff. So I think it's really relevant for us to talk about those fears and how we can leverage it or think differently about it with our team and our coaches and those listening.
Yeah. Oh, that's so brilliant. That's so brilliant. And I think you addressed kind of the two different schools of thought about AI. The first one is the curiosity. How can I use AI to enhance what I'm doing? Or where does AI play a role in my coaching business? And then the other one, that's more strategic. And then, as always, there's the psychological side. Oh my gosh, will AI replace me? I'm so self-conscious. AI is smarter than I am. AI is faster than I am. Maybe AI is better at my job than I am. So obviously, over the course of this podcast, we will address both the strategic and the psychological.
100%. 100%.
So let's talk about the strategic, because I think that's really, it's easy. And it's something that people can start to implement as soon as they finish listening. So what AI can do is, let's say four different categories: revolutionize the client experience, streamline client management, boost marketing efforts, and skyrocket your productivity. I would love for you to explain. Let's start with just the client experience. How can AI enhance the client experience?
I'll make mine short. I'd like to hear yours a bit more in depth because you do this a lot in your business, Jaime, as an online coach. So I think the big thing is our systems in TRM are sort of not all AI with Laurent, Jaime, but are in some categories, So the client experience, look at it as including AI, not letting AI replace you in the client experience, right? Mention the client experience that you're talking about. So ways you can leverage it to have faster follow-up, right? Have a response back that's still personal, but, back in a short period of time, or letting you know what's going on with the client journey. Like, where's the client at in their process with you, right? Which kind of is systems and AI combined together. But think of it as a companion, not as a replacement.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So it works alongside you. Perfect.
Yeah.
I would agree. The way that we've used it, again, if we're talking in terms of automation,
Mhm.
well, essentially how we've used it is automation. So coming up with, what is the best way to ask for feedback at the 4-week mark? Okay, great. And then we put that in the engine, and an automatic email and text message is shot off at the 4-week mark. We send out client newsletters every Tuesday morning. And in the engine, there is something that says like, AI can come up with a really catchy subject line. So I click the button and I tell AI what the topic of conversation is. And then AI comes up with, ideally a newsletter subject line that would have a high open rate.
Yeah.
So to me, that enhances the client experience.
Ooh, that's really good. That's very, very good techniques, Jamie. What are other ways you would say that maybe you're thinking of incorporating in your client journey with AI?
So another way that we've used AI is when we had a coach quit in
Mm.
September of last year, we had to break the news to our clients. And this was one of the first assistant coaches we've ever had. And we're like, this doesn't look good for us because we just hired her 3 months ago. So we typed into ChatGPT, how would you tell clients in a professional yet sympathetic way that they just lost their coach? And if there are any problems, like, please, let us know what the problem is, or if there's any feedback. So we essentially had AI write her termination letter because again, we'd never fired someone before, and we wanted to do it professionally but kindly. And then of
Mm.
course we had to tell her clients that they were SOL for now until we figured out what was going on. So to me, the way we handled her departure again speaks to the client experience, and AI helped us write both letters to the parties involved.
What a great way to use that, Jamie. At a sensitive topic that was all
Mhm.
new to you, but
Yeah,
you leverage AI as a companion to ask it, prompt the right question, and support you in a very sensitive process in your business.
exactly. Exactly. So
Mm.
that's yeah, to me, if there's ever a difficult conversation, and
Mm.
again, just like we spoke about on Tuesday, I didn't copy and paste exactly what AI said. I took it, I put it in an email, I read it aloud once or twice. I said, Katie, does this sound like me? Does this sound like something Filer Fitness would put out? We adjusted it, we modified it, and then we sent it to our clients.
That's super smart.
Yep.
Super smart. Yeah,
Yep.
I like that.
Streamlining client management. This is definitely something that we can talk about in TRM, but also in our own businesses.
That's engine here a lot here with management for sure, right? So data going in. So you could, look at it. You probably have a bit more than me on this one, Jamie, but looking at it as when data's coming in on spreadsheets or into the engine, AI could leverage, not just copy and pasting, but transfer of data, how to
Yeah.
input the data, right?
Yeah.
Again, a companion to your business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. Yep. And the truth is, our businesses aren't that different when it comes to client management. Filer Fitness uses Google Docs. There's not a whole lot of AI that goes out there. We also use obviously the TRM engine for client management, but the truth is, with the actual management, like where the files are stored, how and where we communicate with what mediums, we don't really use AI. We use technology, but we don't use artificial intelligence to store client data. Just being completely transparent.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I love that, Jim. That actually is kind of a nice way to kind of like segue into, leveraging it in what ways as a
Mhm.
companion in your business, not to replace your team,
Yeah.
as a companion in your team.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Boosting marketing efforts. This is, I think, where we see the biggest utility for
Yeah.
AI. So why don't you start?
I'm going to use a tangible example that we do in TRM that has saved us hours of time is we transcribe this podcast using otter.ai. Tanny does. We don't. Jamie just does here, goes here, and just, knocks it out of the park with our people, right? So Otter transcribes all the amazing knowledge and nuggets, and then ChatGPT puts it into an email, right? And then Tanny sends to our list in the TRM engine. That is one example. I'm sure you use it, Jamie, every day or every week for your marketing on social media. I'm assuming so, right?
Yep. Yep. So where we use it is our email newsletters. So we had it come up with 10 topics that people who are in the LGBTQ community are struggling with, and we just go from there. So it comes up with, right, the headlines and the pillars that we often discuss in TRM, right? So it comes up with 10 pain points. Another way we've started to use it is and one of my friends told me about this, on TikTok, it knows you very well, assuming you use TikTok and have liked and post relatively frequently. Okay. So for those of you using TikTok, if you type in the search bar, 1 second, I don't want to get this wrong. This is happening in real time. Shoot. I should have done this in real life, but it's so useful, Matthew. Okay. If you type in the word creator insight search into the TikTok toolbar, you're going to get what TikTok users are searching for within your niche. Ooh. So like right now, pride outfits, obviously, because happy Pride Month, relationship struggles, tomboys, anxiety struggles, coping mechanisms.
Ooh.
So AI has consolidated searches for my niche and is telling me what to make content about.
That's freaking awesome, Jamie.
Isn't it? Right? So creator insight search. And again, if something's trending on TikTok, chances are it's trending on Instagram. So I could go coping mechanisms, pride outfits, tomboys, and create content around that on Instagram as well. So again, this boosts my marketing efforts. Thank you, AI, for doing a larger search of what people are talking about.
That's so good, Jamie. Oh my gosh. I have one I just actually learned about, Jamie. I'm not using it right now, but I kind of want to give it to you on this podcast. You know, I'm a talker. I love going voice notes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little faster with getting information on voice than I am on writing. So if you're a writer, ChatGPT is a phenomenal way to enhance your writing if you prompt it right, obviously. But there's this new one called the Oasis, where it's like Otter, but Otter doesn't actually break what you write down into SOPs and steps.
Yep.
Or LinkedIn post or a blog article. So you could take and like just go on a walk, and the Oasis basically will take all your information in. You tell it what to do. It'll put the information directly into something and steps for you after. Especially last night, I was like going for a walk, doing an SOP, and I'm like, oh my word, this is incredible. Like how I can just like dump everything out and then have a first draft of it. It's obviously not perfect, but a first draft to work through and then build off of it.
And then how many other things can come from that, Matthew? You can turn it in, right? Blog post, email newsletter, a script for a reel, a VSL for maybe something new that TRM might launch eventually, which again speaks to boosting marketing efforts. So if you come up with a script for a reel, you can subsequently ask ChatGPT to make it more formal and turn it into a video sales letter. Right? Because those kind of have two different tones. And then from a video sales letter, turn it into a LinkedIn post by making it 200 words longer and more professional. Yeah. The possibilities are endless when it comes to marketing.
Oof. It's almost like 3 more podcasts on just what you could use for marketing, but we're not going to go there.
Yeah. Right. We could include it in the YouTube video description. Yeah. Okay. Let me just, AI tool. Okay. So you mentioned, let's just go to tools very quickly before we move from strategy to psychology. You mentioned Otter. You mentioned, what was the other one you just said? I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No worries. You're doing a show, my dear. It's totally okay. The Oasis.
The Oasis. Okay. So we've got Otter. We've got Oasis. For my Zoom calls, I use something called Fathom, which is a note taker. It also notes when important parts of my sales calls are.
Ooh, I like that.
Grammarly, we noticed a couple people in TRM are using that because it can, again, it's a great tool if you're going from short form to long form and you want to turn the caption of an Instagram reel into a LinkedIn blog post. Again, your tonality the level in which you're speaking to your audience is going to change. Grammarly can adjust that for you. Another one that we haven't spoken about, Mathew, because we've been talking a lot about words, is Canva for pictures.
Ooh.
Canva and DALL-E are great for creating AI images. I also referenced Remini, which I use. If you are someone who doesn't necessarily like their photo taken, or you don't have the money yet or the time for photo shoots, you can take the photos and videos that are already on your phone, and for free, there is an app called Remini. There is another one called Epic, and it will come up with a series of AI images of you. And I have to say, they're pretty freaking accurate. Like, my mom will comment on the Facebook caption that has fake Jamie as the image.
Deep fake.
Yeah. And we bring everything back full circle. Yeah.
This was good. There is one, James, you probably remember us using in TRM that has saved us hours of video editing, is opus.it.
Yes. Oh gosh, I'm so glad you included that in the training on Tuesday, for sure.
I think Tan saved 7 hours a week of just editing videos to somebody else in India. Like, it's been like, she can go take a whole TRM Gold video and capture your 2 or 1 or 2, like the nugget one want to share on social of your training.
Totally.
1 minute. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, just in case you guys are not familiar with Opus, guys. So let's say this podcast is 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Mathew and I have gone back and forth. We've already dropped a bunch of different nuggets, but instead of, again, having Tanny or someone else, what Opus does is it reads through our dialogue, and it will take anywhere from 30, 60, or a 90-second snapshot of a knowledge bomb that Mathew and I dropped, and then turn it into an Instagram reel, a YouTube short, complete with captions as well. So if you guys do community calls with your clients, if you're on a sales call and overcoming an objection and you think it's something that you want to turn into a reel, or again, like a TikTok, Opus is fantastic. And for most of these things we're referencing, guys, there's a free version and a paid version. Start with the free if you're unsure, see how you like it, and then go from there.
I love that, James, so much. If I could share one thing, James, before you kind of go into your last piece here, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I think that the cool thing about AI is 2 things. To me, it's like a mind expander, but it also can be a distraction killer.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole of like this AI, that AI, and all of a sudden you're one day in, you're looking at 40 different kinds of AI software and you got nothing done.
Yeah.
So I think it comes into, look at what your business needs. Like right now, I'm facing like the rabbit hole a little bit while looking at what the best AI is to use in TRM. You've already given me clarity just by what you shared in your business for like, even the Canva thing. I was like, that's freaking awesome. I never knew about that Canva thing, by the way.
Yep.
But then asking the question, what are the few you're going to use, and then maximize those in your business, not adding 10 more AIs tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which speaks to, I think just to distill it even more, what do you use the most? Do you mostly do a ton of community calls, therefore you need Opus? Do you write a and the most useful?
We're back.
That was weird. I got that announcement too. I don't know what happened there. Yeah.
The AI god said information is too good.
You're speaking too much. So with the time we have left, Mathew, let's switch to the psychological, because you don't give yourself enough credit for it, but you're amazing in terms of mindset guru and hyping people up and letting people know it's going to be okay. So what would be your advice when someone's like, yeah, Jamie, I hear you. Cool. It can write my long form copy, but why would someone stay with me versus AI if it can read lab work and I can't?
Because AI will never be Filer. AI will never be Laurent. AI will never be someone in TRM. And it will be a companion, but it won't be a human being.
Yeah.
Now, will it get better and better? Of course it will, but people still need connection, right? think we, have talked about that before, Jamie, about like business model and how you have retreats for your business for a reason. So, is there, to me, it's an expander. And when I first heard about it, I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh, is it going to replace? Like, it's scary when you first hear about it.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you start learning about it and understanding it and learning from what you're teaching us and what others are teaching us, experts that aren't even in TRM who know AI at a high level, or you're teaching on Tuesday, right? It's about opening to learning what it can do and how it can serve you, not how it can replace you. So if you change your psychology around the fear mindset as opposed to like more of like a abundance and expander mindset, now you can leverage the 3 or 4 AI tools you want to use, like Jamie just talked about, or I talked about today, and now you can 10x, maybe 5 or 10x your business the right way without having to hire more staff right now. Use your current team.
I love that. I love that. And I think that first thing you said, Matthew, about like, AI isn't Filer. Obviously that applies to everyone. AI isn't Matthew Park. AI can't teach business. AI doesn't have, Matthew, you've spoken about your journey so many times. How many times have you been burned? How many times have you lost everything? Financially, maybe emotionally, right? AI doesn't understand that. AI cannot empathize with the hunger I am currently experiencing. So how could it ever relate to someone else that I would coach for contest prep? What advice from the heart that, again, AI doesn't have, its only head, could it talk about if you get screwed over by a business partner and have to start from ground zero and explain to your wife why you're starting from ground zero again? Right?
Ooh, I got goosebumps, Shane. That was so good. So good. Because you're so spot on. It's a companion. Now you look at what you just shared. When it comes to human beings, we're energy beings, right? We're energy beings. And the emotional side, is a whole different ball game with AI. And is it going to get better over time? Of course it's going to. But, if you look at the evolution of what we're doing, we're ahead of the curve right now, James. What you just taught today, we're ahead of the curve. There's one filer. There's not 10 filers of AI. They might be able to use parts of what we're doing to help enhance what you do and what you teach. But your creative brain is a certain way for a reason. They can't teach accountability by filer. They can't, solve key problems like on an emotional level like you could do, right? So are we cut out? Oh yeah, we cut out.
I got you.
Okay, wasn't sure if the AI gods again once cut us out because they were like, it's too good of an episode for us today.
Yes.
So when it comes to the aspect of it almost like you take what you teach, Jamie, your accountability, your knowledge, your ability to like decipher information, hold people accountable. You're so detailed, right? AI can help enhance the detail, but they can't be the detail like you could do, right? Or that next level. And that's where it'll be your companion or my companion, others' companions, just to make us better humans.
Yeah.
How would you take that? I'm kind of curious yours, because like you're so fast at getting I can't get up to you. Honestly, I try to get up to you. It's impossible. You're like a freaking ninja times 5. So I'm thinking you're already 5 steps ahead. So how do you take AI? How do you think of it in terms of people versus AI? What's your mental viewpoint on that?
The truth is, Matthew, if people right, let's use my reels on Instagram, for example. People like what I have to say, right? I've been where they are. Right? I am my ideal client 3 years ago, which is so advantageous for me. But how do I create 5 pieces of different content that convey the message of I've been where you are, so I understand you, but I've moved past it? Because the truth is, as quickly as my brain works, I've been a trainer for 18 years. I still can only think of like 4 different cues on how to get someone to squat. You know what I mean? Like, but because I don't know anything beyond, I only know what I know. But I could go into AI and I can say, okay, the toilet seat thing and the knees over the toes thing isn't working for my clients. Give me 5 more cues for how to teach a client to squat. There it is, right? Again, it's enhancing what I'm doing to make me a better coach. I'm not threatened.
That was perfect. That was just dialed, James. Yeah.
Amazing, Matthew. Awesome. Where can people find you? What's next?
Well, I'm going to first say where they can find you. You can find Jamie Fowler Fitness at Jamie without an E91. Okay.
Correct.
Right. And then you can find me at Official Mathew Park with 1T, not 2. And then you can find us in TRM calls, us
There it is.
on the calls.
Yep.
And you can find us every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays on TRM, plus come in our TRM circle and you're going to get infused. And
in the meantime, please make sure you like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any value-packed episode.
Because Jamie is clothed, I'm going to give you a bicep pose because she can't flex right now. And if she could, I would never do this right now. So there's mine, but don't take off your clothes right now because I'll get embarrassed.
Guys, have the best rest of your day. Join us for the next episode and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, James.